Hey everyone, ErikOnPaper here, and I'm Eric, and he's back, the man behind the mask. So I chose to draw Jason from Friday the 13th Part 6 because it's personally one of my favorite movies in the series, and I really like the look of Jason in that movie. And honestly, I hadn't paid attention to how much he changes between films, but the differences are quite noticeable. And I debated giving him that paintball stain on his front, but uh, wouldn't turn out really well in black and white, even though that was my favorite part of the movie. Had me cracking up the entire time. But one of the things I also wanted to do with the drawing is have it be from a low angle, like you're one of his victims looking up at him right before he impales you with that spear. Just to change it up and, not do just a normal dead on pose. And I initially had the arms positioned way too high that made it look, as I was saying, just like a normal dead on pose. So eventually I went in and erased that, and it gives a lot more dimensionality to the piece. Actually, I got the reference for this drawing from an interesting source. I was playing the Friday the 13th game. I was doing the single player mode, and I'm actually curious if anyone still plays the game online. I haven't done it in a while. But I took a still from one of my playthroughs, just shot a photo of it on my phone, and liked where the lighting was coming from on the mask, and also it happened to be a rainy environment, so I thought I would incorporate that. The things I like to do though is just to render one piece or one central part of the image and then base the rest of my lighting on that. And here I thought I'd treat myself with a bit of brush inking, since I love working with a brush, and also you can do a really great job capturing the folds in the clothing. And also, I'm curious if you comment below, what is your favorite Friday the 13th kill? Because that, in my opinion, the Friday the 13th movies have the best and most creative kills of the horror franchises. They can be over the top, to be sure, but they're typically satisfying to watch if you're a gorehound. I don't know if I am. I just like the creativity. Maybe I'm weird that way. But comment below what you think. Yeah, a lot of my lines are coming out heavier when I was inking, so I decided to just go in later with microns to fill in the mask. And one of the key factors when doing any bit of artwork is to get the emotional state of the character. Like, Jason is always filled with anger and rage, uh, and I wanted the line work to reflect that. So instead of going with a smoother flowing gesture, I tried to make everything look erratic and chaotic. So one of the things that I did was just work with shorter lines. Now, some inkers work just for the colorist to do a lot of the work with, shading and things like that. And that's certainly one way to work. It's not the way I prefer to work, to be honest. I want the piece to stand alone as a black and white image before colors are added to it. And in my opinion, that makes the work just look a lot better. But, my style isn't everyone's style. And since I'm used to coloring my own pieces, I find it really helpful to find where the lines and the you want the rendering to be, and just work out from there. Okay, we're coming up on probably the most fun I had experimenting with the piece, and that is to do a dark, cloudy sky, but I didn't want to do anything too uh, predictable with it. So what I did was just get my brush really saturated with ink and go in and just put these very chaotic, almost angry brush strokes everywhere. And I thought that would really reflect Jason's mood and characterization. Uh, and also, if you're the victim getting stabbed, what it would probably look like. Although, in all fairness, you're probably not paying attention to the sky. So here I go in adding details to the mask, and eventually I saw that the eyes were not symmetrical, so I went in later and corrected that. But knowing that I wanted the scene to take place in the rain, I'm starting to add details to the mask, such as the water droplets, and of course vary your cross-hatching as per usual to get thicker shadows or more implied grays. and just going in and adding the rain details on him, because there would be moisture everywhere, dripping down, and then adding some more shadows because I didn't want him to look too cartoony, but remember the point of cross-hatching is to always get grays in the image. And the rendering also has to do with implying what texture there is, like obviously the fabric for Jason's clothing. Actually, it's not fabric, but I'm not sure what the material is, but you want to make sure it's slick and rain soaked, and also with the his pouches made of a different canvas, his mask, everything like that, all has to be rendered differently. So now I'm going in and adding where the rain is hitting him. I used to try to incorporate this into the drawing, into the penciling itself, but it was much easier to go in and add whiteout to complete the look. So I used a lot of whiteout stippling effects around the body to indicate rain splashes, and then with the same pen, just made streaks all across the page to get that chaotic rain effect. Well, this piece was a lot of fun to work on. I really enjoyed adding the rain effects and getting the pose right. And you have been giving me so many great ideas that I could almost have them continue beyond October. And I might do that, but also getting back to the Spider-Man and traditional superhero stuff. Coming up next for October is going to be a comic book horror icon. I don't know if you'll be able to guess who she is by being super vague, but if you like this video, please click like, subscribe, and hit that little bell thing, and keep telling your stories.